while I was completely silent. So you guys are in the right place if you want to hear about apps. So let's get into this thing quickly. Today's topic is, of course, how to launch a profitable app without being a tech genius. So I hope that sounds cool. And my goal for today is exactly that. So I want to show you guys because a lot of people come to me all the time, like every day, with all these questions about apps and want me to do app partnerships and just all of this stuff. Yeah, Bobby, you get a free app, no problem. And Mike, shout out to Brooklyn, no doubt. But yeah, people come to me all the time with they want me to make their app, and what I'm trying to show you guys is that you don't need that because anybody can actually do this. You just need to have the right system. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to be a tech genius. You don't need to be a special person. You just need a proven system that works. And that's what I want to show you today. So let me know if that sounds good. Let me know if that sounds cool. Give me a 1. Give me a Brooklyn. Oh, by the way, let me know who is on and let me know where you guys are from. I always like to hear that. I always like to see who's on and where you guys are calling in from. And I want this to be super interactive. I'm going to take questions at the end, but feel free to chime in at any time and let me know what you're thinking. I definitely just want this to be fun, a good experience. We got Lowell Mass in the house. We got 1. Christy says 1. Bobby says, that's what's up. Bobby, good to see you again. It's been quite a while. Brooklyn, stand up. What's up, Mike? Jessica from ATL. We got James from Hickory, North Carolina. Christy's from BK. So we got a lot of places represented. And guys, keep on letting me know. Let me let me know who's here and where you're from because I love that. So if you guys, you got to stay to the end, and I have a secret surprise for you. I'm actually not going to tell you what it is, but it's cool. It's something I use all the time in the business, and I just want to give it to you for being here and for spending time with me. So yeah, what makes this different? And the difference between this and a lot of other trainings is that I'm not just giving you information and hypothetical knowledge. This is stuff that I use. It's a system that I actually use in my business, that my students use in their businesses. It's proven, it's successful. It's steps that you can actually follow and get results. So let me know if that sounds cool. I hope you like that because that's what we got. So if you guys don't know me, a lot of you guys do know me. I see some familiar names and faces. But if you don't, my name is Moyo Okome. I'm a full-time app entrepreneur. I've done 12 million mobile app downloads on the Apple App Store and Google Play, mostly on the Apple App Store. Sold my first app company in 2015. I've hit top 10 on the App Store. Also hit top 25, top 100 multiple times. Just telling you guys stuff to let you know that I know a little bit about this business. It's not to brag, but I want you to know you're in good hands. And I'm not going to steer you wrong. So let me know if that sounds cool. But, despite those accolades or accomplishments or whatever, it didn't start like that. I remember starting off in this business. It started off because I was desperate. I was in a workplace where, just wasn't being treated the right way. I had a boss who would just yell at me because things were going wrong or he didn't understand the numbers in his business. And, people just really didn't have a lot of respect for me or for my work. And it was a very political environment. I was grateful because I was getting paid quite a bit, but, just the negative, toxic environment, like money doesn't make up for that. So after a while, I just knew I had to get out of there. Otherwise, it just wasn't going to be good for my persona. So I don't know if anybody out there has ever been frustrated at work, but I definitely was. And, I did all the right things, went to college for 4 years, studied hard, went to business school, got a master's degree, worked hard as hell to get a job, got rejected more times than you can imagine. So it kind of sucked when the job went south and I was just looking for anything else. I came across a book called App Empire, long story short. Bought that book, taught me a whole lot about the app marketplace back then. Things have evolved since then. Also, bought a couple courses. Long story short, I spent 10 to 12 grand educating myself on the app space, but it was a big risk back then. I did have the advantage. I had a signing bonus from that job. So I took a big portion of that signing bonus, just said, hey, this is going to be a gift to myself. I need to invest in myself. I need to change things. I need to do something differently. And, thank goodness it's paid itself back many times over. But yeah, I just had to place that bet on myself. So, I've done a lot of things right since I've been in this business. This is when one of my apps went viral and was doing 80,000 downloads a day. This was a six-figure app and made it onto TechCrunch. This is when I got into Huffington Post. Ariana Huffington hit me up and said, sure, you can be on it. So that was awesome. This is the article I wrote on there. So that was well received. I enjoyed that. This one we hit 10 million downloads on the App Store. This was, I think, 2016 or so. So, January 2016. So we would have hit that at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016. That was super cool. This one I had the opportunity to speak in Hawaii at an app conference, the Blue Cloud Conference. Gave a nice presentation there. And at that same conference, this is me proposing to my beautiful fiance. So, the app business has been really good to me in a lot of ways. Just had a lot of great experiences because of it. A lot of freedom that I didn't have before. So I'm just really grateful for that. But don't get me wrong, it hasn't been all sweet. I've done a ton of things wrong as well. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I've done a lot of things wrong. Could fill up a lot of slides with that. I'm actually not going to do that right now. But going through those experiences, good and bad, here are some things that I've learned that I want to share with you. And these all tie into the main theme of basically how you can launch a successful app, achieve success in the app business without being a tech genius. Number one is, of course, that anybody can run a successful app business. You just need a system. Number two is that this does not have to cost tons of money. It doesn't have to be expensive. You just have to know how to go about it. And number three, many people think that it's impossible to get downloads and, to earn money, but very possible, very feasible. I know beginners who are doing this, but it's just that you need the right system. Again, you have to go about it the right way, just like anything else, right? So, I discovered these things the hard way through years of just trying stuff, but you guys get to cheat and get the easy way. So you let me know which you prefer. You want the easy way or would you rather the hard way? So the hard way is spending a whole bunch of money to learn how to code and it takes you years to become good. Or you spend a whole bunch of money getting somebody to develop an app for you and then you're not sure if it's any good at all. Or you finally manage to create an app and then you're like, great, I've got an app, but how do I get this thing downloaded, right? You can't get any downloads, so you just have, I don't know, you have like a digital paperweight or something. So would you guys like the easy way that allows you to skip the struggle? Let me know what you think. The hard way or the easy way? Because if you want the hard way, we probably shouldn't do this thing. So anyway, over the past 5 years, I've generated over 12 million downloads, like I mentioned, and I didn't write a single line of code. And, at this point, this is a good point to stop and just point out my results are my results, but they are not typical. The Federal Trade Commission wants me to let you guys know that. So let's throw in that disclaimer. It's not typical. The average person who jumps on one of these free trainings doesn't get any results. And I think the reason why is because they just listen. They say, oh, that's some cool information. Then they don't do anything with it. So some questions to consider. Are you going to take any action with this thing? Are you going to put in time and effort once I give you the system? And then what happens when something goes slightly wrong? Are you going to give up and say, man, Mario sucks. This thing is horrible. This doesn't work. Or are you going to, ask questions and keep going at a slightly different angle until you get those results? So I'm happy to show you exactly what's working for me for free, but just know that there's no easy button. It's not a get rich quick scheme. So if that's what you're looking for, I don't have it here. So let me know if that sounds good, guys. I hope that sounds cool. Give me a 1, give me a yes. Let me know what's up. G-Day, glad to see you. Mike, I'm glad you want the smart way. Christy wants the easy way. So we're going to give you guys the easy way. So hope you guys are having fun. I'm having fun. So secret number one, of course, is that you don't have to be special to create successful apps. Anybody can do this. Number two is that creating apps does not have to be expensive. And number three is that getting downloads is actually easy. So let's start off in the right place with number one. Anybody can do this. You don't have to be special. You don't have to be a tech genius. So this is an article that caught my attention at the beginning of this year in January, that $28 billion, Apple paid out $28 billion to developers. They paid out $20 billion to developers on $28 billion total revenue. And I saw something earlier this year that they've paid out, it's now up to $70 billion in all the time it's existed. So, this thing it's large, it's growing. Everybody kind of knows this, but that's part of what makes apps a great opportunity. So people hear about this stuff like, okay, how do I get in? And most people start looking at the hard way. Should I learn to code? And, learning to code, it's good. It's a good skill. I learned how to code in college, actually. I haven't done it for years and years, but I did learn how to code in college. That's what my first degree was for. So, it's a good skill. It's a good way of thinking, but it's not the easiest way to get into business. I'll tell you a story about a friend of mine. I won't name his name, but he actually went to one of these boot camps, and he went to one of these boot camps, paid the large tuition because he wanted to learn how to code. And, after 12 weeks or 18 weeks, he did learn how to code. He was able to create some like fun website projects that you could go on, and it would like mimic some popular websites kind of. But what he didn't have at the end of that time was a business, right? What he had were some skills that he'll be able to build on over years and years, but it's going to take years to get good. I looked up the stats. These boot camps cost $11,000 tuition on average, and to tell you the truth, it still takes you years to get good to the point that you're going to make something that is commercial grade, that you can monetize. And they're not going to teach you the business side. So if you want to get a job in coding, then yeah, I think that's a good angle to go, arguably. But as far as starting your own profitable business, that is not the fastest route at all. So, what do you do instead, right? If you're telling me not to learn to code, I'm not telling you not to learn to code, but I'm telling you, if you want to start a business and get to that point quickly, then that's probably not the way. If you're already an expert at coding, then that's great. You can leverage that in your business. But yeah, point taken. So hire. What I do is I hire. There are different sites out there. There's freelancer.com, there's guru.com, and my personal favorite, upwork.com. This is my go-to that I go to all the time to hire developers and designers, which is basically the team that you need to get an app created, right? And so this is the actual interface of the site. It's super easy. If anybody out there have an Amazon account or a Gmail account, and if you guys know how to sign up for Amazon or for Gmail or for anything, then you can definitely sign up for Upwork.com. And as you'll see on the screen, this is literally how I do it. It's like writing an email. I'm just writing to the potential developers. And by the way, you have people on here who have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, who've been doing this for like 5 years, 7 years. It's just that most of them are overseas, so you can get a lot lower rates than you would get here in the U.S. There are some U.S. and UK people, but generally most of the people that you see are overseas developers. But that doesn't mean they're not talented, right? Some of them are, some of them aren't. You have to do some looking, but it's definitely worth it. I've hired people on this site that I've been working with for the last 3-4 years in some cases, 2 years in some cases. But yeah, definitely an awesome resource. So hope you guys like that. Hope you're going to jump on Odesk. It's Upwork now this evening and post a job, because that's really the way that you get started. That's the way that you do it. It's super simple. Once you put in what you're looking for, then they will get back. You get a whole bunch of responses. Then you have to filter through them based on star rating, like Amazon And once you get down to the people who you think look good, then you can interview them on Skype. So it's a pretty simple process. I'm sure you guys get that. So at this point, you know, I, I have to ask you, like, would you rather do things the hard way and spend a few years, learn how to do some C++ and Java and Objective C, and then make your app, or would you rather do things the easy way? And this gentleman here, who I pictured here, I actually met him earlier this year. His name's C-Ray, and he definitely chose to do things the easy way. He didn't have any experience in this business, and that's why I'm kind of sharing his story. I'm going to tell you his whole story later on, but um, he did things the easy way. He hired somebody off of Odesk, and as a result, he was able. Keep saying Odesk. It's Upwork. They changed from Odesk and Elance. They merged into Upwork, but that doesn't matter. So C-Ray, anyway, I'm sharing this story because, like a lot of you guys, he did not have experience in this game, but he was able to follow the system. He was able to hire a developer off of Upwork, and he's getting results now. So, you know, I'm not sure what you guys are thinking you'd rather do, but I would highly recommend going the same route as C-Ray. And I'll actually share an even easier thing that you can do later on. So does that sound like something that you guys could use? Jessica, it's upwork.com. So let me know if you guys think that sounds pretty cool. Let me know if you guys are going to try it out. Do you like that? Give me a 1 if you like it. Give me a 2 if you hate it and think it is terrible. All right, cool. Getting some yeses, getting a 1. That is what I like. You guys are a good crowd. Give yourself a round of applause for being highly engaged and an awesome audience. You're my best audience today. All right, so moving right along. Secret number 2 is that creating apps does not have to be expensive. Before I jump in to this segment, I want to give you a story just kind of illustrating the value of this piece. It's going to seem simple, but trust me, it's important, so pay attention. So this story, it's a friend of a friend who approached me, right? So this was back when I was still taking a lot of one-on-one calls from people. Now it's a little bit too crazy for me to do that, so I share information in this kind of forum instead, where I can talk to multiple people at one time and be more efficient. But so this guy approached me, and he created an app. Well, he paid somebody, I believe a US developer, to create an app. He spent $48,000 making this thing, right? The guy was a medical doctor, so I guess he had the money to do it, but he put a lot of money into this thing. Then he showed it to me, like he showed me the page on the App Store. It was like some kind of dating app with a weird twist to it. And I took a look at it. I used the research sites that I used to look at apps, and I looked at the stats. And let me tell you, this thing didn't have any traction at all. It'd been out there for several months, but it wasn't getting any downloads, didn't have reviews. So he wasn't earning any return from this. And he spent $48,000. And so he was asking me some questions. Then he was telling me about some plans to drop another $35K into it, to do an update that really wasn't going to make a difference. So, you know, it was unfortunate. I had to kind of talk him out of that thing and give him some advice. But, you know, that's not the route that I want to see any of you go. Because the thing is, it's not just the lost money, but it's also lost confidence. How's he going to feel about approaching another project and going at it? Because, you know, oftentimes you don't hit that success on your very first time. I know for me personally, it took me a few months. Like for some of my students, it's been better, I guess, because they have all the steps laid out. But, you know, it's not always going to go right that first time. So it's a lot better if you can just spend a lot less, so that if you don't hit that success, that you're not going to want to quit right away. So I hope that makes sense. Give me a 1, or let's switch it up. Give me your favorite emoji if that sounds good. and if it doesn't, then just write trash into the box, and I'm gonna keep going. So, um, you guys have probably heard about emoji apps. If you haven't, then this is an article about Kim K's emoji app, and it's made a ton of money. I think it's done millions in revenue, and yeah, did really well. It's still up in the charts, in the entertainment charts, if you go research it. These are some screenshots from the app. So, you got Kanye, you got the Kim emoji crying, all kinds of pizzas and cats. And then this is about Steph Curry's emoji making bank. So, this app did tremendously well. Emojis are just kind of a trend that a lot of different celebrities and non-celebrities are going to right now. It's just a very simple app to make, and they're doing quite well. So some screenshots from that app. And these are some screenshots from an emoji app. This one, I made an emoji app for lovers of bulldogs. This did pretty well for me. Dog owners are really passionate. This was for lovers of Labradors, and this also did quite well for me. These are the first couple months of results for those two apps. Probably first 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know. You guys do the math. January 20th to March 2nd. So yeah, that ought to be like 5 or 6 weeks. And you can see they took down about 11 grand in that time. But the difference between my app and Steph Moji and Kim Moji is that they pay the developer tens of thousands of dollars, possibly more, possibly more than $100,000 to create it. And I created my apps. I've now created probably about 5 or 6 emoji apps. I'm working on like 4 or 5 more right now. They were built from a source code template. So what that means is that it's some code that you can buy from a website. It has pretty much the structure of the app. All you need to do is change around the graphics. You can add some different features and functions. But what it does for you is it dramatically decreases the cost and the time of development. So, I'm not spending tens of thousands of dollars on the app. I'm hiring somebody off of Upwork. I'm giving them my template. I'm having somebody else create the graphics that are good for whatever kind of app that I'm creating. And it's just getting done at a fraction of the cost and in a fraction of the time. Like an app like this will literally take a couple weeks from conception to me getting it up on the App Store, just because we're efficient with it now, me and my team. And so, when I created this, I had my team create this template for me, and it cost me probably, I think, 2,500 or $3,000 to create. But now I sell it to people for $500. So, it's good for them. It's good for me. And it just makes it really inexpensive to create a quality app of that type. Of course, there's downsides, because if you buy a template, you can't create any kind of app. You're kind of limited to the template that you're buying. Of course, you can improve on it, but the pros greatly outweigh the cons, especially especially when you're getting started. It's just very good to get through a project from start to finish, and it's even better if you can start being profitable sooner. It just gives you more confidence, makes you want to invest more energy in it, and it just starts a very good cycle. So yeah, yeah, it's the new yeah, it's copy and paste. You definitely do want to you want to make it your own with the look and the feel, and you can even change around a few things. But yeah, the copy paste, like that aspect of it is just so great to me, because it just makes it so inexpensive, and it makes it so fast, so you can get those results back quickly, and then just you can iterate on it. So I hope that sounds cool, guys. Let me know what you think. Again, shoot me those ones, shoot me those yeses. Let me know if it's cool. Give me a 7 if you think it is terrible. So again, would you rather do things the hard way, like our buddy who spent nearly 50 grand on his app, or would you rather do things the easy way and use a template? Again, my buddy C Ray, because he was following my system and my program, what he did was he actually used this exact template that we're talking about. And I'll let you know that the first app that he created was not successful, but he was able to quickly make a second one, and that second one was very successful. And because he was using the template and using Upwork, it was quick, it was cheap, and now he's kind of in business. He's playing with house money and having a good time. So hope that sounds cool. Hope that makes sense. Let's move on to number 3. And can you have the presentation in your email box when I'm done? Yeah, I think I can do that. I'll definitely send you guys the replay for sure, and I'll see if I can hook you up with the presentation. So number 3 is that getting downloads does not have to be hard. Getting downloads can actually be pretty easy. So why does everybody disagree about that? Why do people think that getting downloads is hard? What makes it so difficult? And I'll tell you, if you look at this chart, I forget where I found this, but top 10 startup mistakes. And number 1 is building something that nobody wants. And the same thing, this applies to any kind of business, really. Like there has to be demand for you to be successful. And, why wouldn't this be true for an app? But yet people all the time will just pull an idea out of the sky and say, I think that this thing should exist. I was walking down the street and I had an app idea, and it's going to be $1 million app idea. And then they put it out there and they're just not sure, at that point they're asking the question, how do I get downloads? What should I do? And that's, I think that is backwards. I would argue that instead of making an app and then figuring out how do I get the downloads, think about that up front. What you want to do to make things easy on yourself, because really there are a lot of ways of going about the same thing, a lot of ways to skin a cat. You can do something that is totally brand new and unprecedented and super innovative, but your first few times out of the gate, before you know how to do this stuff, I would not advise that. So instead, what you can do is, number 1, pick a hot market, and number 2, give them what they already want. So, that's what I was doing in the cases of those dog emoji apps. I'm not a dog lover. I'm not even a dog owner. I just know that dog owners are passionate about their dogs, and I was pretty confident that they would want to buy something that relates to those dogs that they love so much. And I was definitely right about that. So you want to sell to a niche that is what we call a passionate niche. And, how do you find one of those? Really, there are tons of ways. You can go on Amazon and look what people are buying. You can look at the different t-shirts on Amazon. You can go to Teespring, look at, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the site called Teespring, but you can look at the bestsellers on there. You can even just Google the word passionate niche or passionate buyers or buying niches. You'll come up with results like this. So you can see there's stuff like cheerleading and golf, muscle cars, firefighters. So you could definitely make products for any of these niches. And things like this would make a great first app, if you were to do an emoji app, for an example, because you just know that the demand is going to be there. You don't have to worry about that part. You can just worry about going through the process. And then once you've done this a couple times, then hey, you made some money. Hopefully you've achieved some ROI. And then at that point you have the process down, and then you go out, you do whatever you want. You're more comfortable, you're more knowledgeable, so you can take some more risks. And you got that under your belt, and I just think that's a great way to go about things. Make sense, guys? Give me a 1 if that makes sense. So what's really cool is that once you've kind of picked out a niche and you know what kind of customer you want to be serving, whatever that customer may be, whether it's a dog owner or somebody who loves organics or working out, or somebody who likes a certain kind of TV show, whatever it is you're doing, Facebook has really changed the game. And I didn't have this when I had first started in the app game. It's relatively new. So what's cool is that Facebook lets you find your perfect audience. Like you can literally type in different interests. This is a tool called Audience Insights. If you just Google it, then you'll find the link to it. Facebook provides it for absolutely free. And you can type your interests down into this interest box on the lower left. Then it will give you a whole bunch of different results. You can go over to, they have a tab for page likes. It will tell you different pages that relate to that interest of people who like that interest. And you can kind of use this to just find the people who are going to like the stuff that you're doing. And then once you've done that, then you can target them with Facebook ads. And, it's not free, but what's cool is that you can earn an ROI. It's like if you target your audience right, then it's going to be relatively inexpensive to target them. So even with a paid app, an app that people are paying $1.99 or $2.99, sometimes even $3.99 for, you can get good downloads. So this is the ads manager on Facebook. So you use this to set. You can see I'm setting up an ad down here for the Labrador emoji app. And it's really easy. You just put in an ad image. You have to write a little bit of ad copy. So I wrote, finally, a Labrador Retriever emoji app. Tag your friends to get that social element going. And just had some pictures, but pretty. It's the easiest kind of ad setup that you can possibly use nowadays, and the targeting is just insane. So here you can see this ad that I posted for that Labrador emoji app. And what is awesome here is that even though it's an ad, people are interacting with it like it's a content, almost like it's a magazine or like a meme. You can see tons of engagement going on. This is just one of my ads. I post several, but people are commenting, they're tagging friends, they're saying, yay, cool. And this is not the way that people respond to ads, but yet, like, look at this. It's incredible. So give me a 1 or a yes if you guys think this sounds cool. Like when I found out about this, I thought it was the best thing ever, because what it's doing, it allows you to just choose a certain customer, create the product that customer is going to like, and then Facebook ads let you put that customer and that product exactly together, so you can be profitable like on day one or within a couple of days if you've done this the right way. So give me a 1 or a yeah. Let me know if you guys think that's cool, if it's useful, if you think that you could use that to help you in business. I definitely like I think it's one of the coolest things in the world. So again, I want to talk about my man C-Ray, just because, again, he's in the same place that a lot of you guys probably are, where he just didn't know anything about this business, was definitely asking me a lot of questions, like, how do I start this thing off? Am I going to be successful? Is this going to work? How do I do? This guy asked a lot of questions, but here's how he did it. Here's what worked for me. So he bought an emoji app source code template, the one I showed you before. Then he decided to create an emoji app based on a passionate niche, which was, in his case, horse owners. So let me tell the whole true story. He actually did the first one based on goat lovers, and that one didn't work too well. I don't know why. I think he found some Facebook pages about goats, but they were really comedy pages. If you think about it, I can't really think of people who are passionate about goats that I know. I know people who like eating goat meat. I'm one of them. But goats, I don't know about that. So horse owners were a much better niche. So once he did that, he already knew the process from going through it the first time. He had his developers from Upwork use the template, create that horse app. That took about, it was really quick. I think he got it out in like a week and a half. He promoted the app using Facebook ads, and boom, everybody say boom for C-Ray, because his app went to the top 10 in entertainment, it's the second largest category in the App Store. Games is the largest category, but entertainment is the next largest. So his app reached the top 10 in the the U.S., the UK, and France. I think it did well in some other countries, but I know those three for sure. In his first week, he made over $1,000, and kind of went on and repeated that over the next few weeks in the month. So this was it's quite a good first, well, I guess second experience for CRA, and that's why I would argue, that you should do things the easy way. So let me know if that sounds cool. I hope you guys see how this works, and I hope you see why I say that anybody can do it. And this doesn't mean that he's an app millionaire yet at this point, but I do think it means that he's had a great start, great profitable start to his app business, and it only gets better from here. So, guys, let me know. Oh, Bobby's used sponsored ads again. This time, let's switch it up. Give me. I want you guys to give me a 5. Give me a 5 if you think that this is cool and this is something that you can do. And we're going through the 3 secrets I wanted to show you. But as I mentioned, I want to just give you guys something special for hang around, for being here. So this is my gift to you. This is my app business success plan that I use to plan out my projects. So in this plan, it's a PDF. I print it out, and I list all the different aspects of my app. For something like an emoji app, it might be overkill, but it's still good to just get everything down on paper and make sure that I have all my bases covered. I know, I've done my market research. I know where I'm going to put it up, how I'm going to monetize. It's going to be a paid app, so on and so forth. So you guys can go to dailyspark.co/success plan, and that is my gift to you. So definitely enjoy. Thank you guys for being on here with me. Definitely hope you guys had a good time too. All right, I'm seeing the 5s. I love it. Absolutely love it. So, man, yeah. So that girl is drinking from a fire hose. She's getting sprayed in the face with a fire hose. And guys, we've been talking for the last almost 60 minutes, been about 40 minutes about. So proud of myself for getting through that quickly after the snafu. So hopefully we've been having a good time, but it's difficult to cover this stuff in just 40 minutes or 60 minutes, whatever the case may be. So let me ask you a question. How many of you guys feel like this right now? Feel like you're drinking from a fire hose? So if so, give me a 1, and if not, give me a 7. And so I want to let me just wait up and see how people are feeling about this. Oh yeah, Mike, paid apps versus free. So right now I've been doing a lot of paid apps, but free is another model that works. You can do subscriptions now, but what's cool now is that what's cool with paid apps is that if you're paying for the ads, then exactly what kind of return that you're going to get. G-Day says it looks too easy. G-Day, so like the setup is pretty easy. It's like it's a very simple system, very simple process, but there's always nuance to it, right? There are things that you have to learn, you have to know. But so guys, I put together a special package for you guys called App Breakthrough to help you guys go through this stuff over the next couple weeks, couple months. And I just want to ask you guys permission. Is it okay if I take a couple minutes to show you what is in App Breakthrough? I lost my screen for a second. All right, cool. I'm getting the permission. I didn't want to move ahead without the permission. I wasn't sure it was coming, but hey, that's awesome. So, before I jump into it, like the thing one thing I hate is that old habits just die hard. It's a cliche, but that's mainly because it's true. And what often happens on these things is that people will come, they'll listen to the presentation, they'll learn some cool secrets, some cool stuff, get some information about ads, and then tomorrow you go back to your job, you go back to your TV shows, go back to Facebook, and nothing changes. So, that's not what I want to see. I definitely want to see you guys like take action with this stuff, move forward, and create some results. And like to that extent, before I jump into what's in that breakthrough, I just want to touch on the fact that a lot of people get twisted into knots sometimes about the fact that these things cost money, and I just want to change the conversation around that, and that money is good. So, like for example, the other day I went out, I grabbed some sushi. I think I paid $50 for it, but as a result, I had some awesome sushi. I had an awesome experience, really enjoyed my time, and they got my money, so they were happy. I was happy. So like money's a good thing. It's a medium of exchange. The only I guess the thing is that as long as you're paying, as long as you're getting more value in return than what you're paying, I would argue that it's a good deal. So would you guys agree with that? I certainly hope so. And the fact is, by the way, I think this picture is awesome. On the left, of course, this is Scrooge McDuck from my childhood. I love this. On the right, it's an awesome book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And, one of the points that he makes in the book, it's definitely a classic for any entrepreneur. So definitely pick it up. Definitely read it if you haven't. One of the points that he makes is that, we all have disposable income and we spend money on all kinds of stuff. Like I mentioned the sushi before, like I ate out for lunch today, and we buy a ton of stuff that is just stuff and it doesn't create more money. So like what I'm asking you today is to, just like I did, except, invest some money in something that can create more money, right? Rather than just dispose your income with stuff that's not going to be of any benefit. So anyway, that's my spiel, but app breakthrough. So what you're going to get in app breakthrough if you invest in app breakthrough. So first up, this is the core training. There's the fundamentals and success planning, just everything you need to get started. How do you set up your accounts? The right mindset to get started. And that's about $197 value. Market research domination. So this is critically important because if you don't get the step right, then nothing else is going to work. So as in Siray's example where he didn't do his research correctly the first time and it flopped, he did it correctly the second time and he was able to achieve some success. Then third up is wireframe design and communication, which is where I teach you how to talk to a developer and turn your idea into something that they're going to easily be able to turn into an app. Fourth up, and I think this is super valuable. If this is all you got, this would definitely be worth it. Hiring and team management. As I mentioned, I have people that I've worked with in this business for the last few years. I hired them off of Odesk. A lot of people will tell you it's impossible to go on these sites and hire, but that's just because they're not doing it the right way. I think it's not that difficult, but again, it's just a matter of going through a process that is repeatable, that's proven. So that is a $997 value. It's actually it's just been so good to me, and I've earned such a return on my ability to hire. So that's a $997 value at least. Then, of course, marketing and monetization, because what good is this stuff if you can't monetize it? I mean, it's still pretty cool. Like, don't get me wrong. I was super proud of myself when I had an app up on the store. I only made about $50 my first month in the app store, so I didn't do quite as good, quite as quickly as Siray. But that was fun. But it's a lot more fun if you can monetize this stuff and earn a return. So we're putting that at a $497 value. So the total value of this package is $2,485 conservatively. And who's this work for? So this is work for complete novices who've never seen that business, like my man C-Ray. It's work for intermediates who've kind of been in it for a few years. Maybe some of them have seen some success, but some of them kind of just created a few apps but haven't really gotten results. This work for non-technical people who have no experience. It's also work for technical people who are developers. It's also work for people who are marketers. believe it or not, it's also worked for people who aren't even doing apps. I didn't put that on the slide, but it's pretty interesting. People have been able to use the system to market other products using Facebook ads. So that's not my intention, but I think that's pretty cool. So I hope you guys think that's cool. So I had two choices with this thing. The first option was let me go as cheap as possible, try to sell as many as possible. I've done that before. The problem is that it doesn't incentivize me to really stack the value. The second option is to make the investment a little bit higher, but in exchange, I can really devote more resources and time to guarantee that you guys are successful. And for me, that's when it's fun. I like seeing the series break out, start having a success. I want to make more slides with you guys up on them. I have a bunch of these success stories now. I'll talk about one of them. Here's my man Steven. So he says, so Steven is a video guy. He I don't think he did much with apps before, but he said, I freaked out when I saw my app in the top rankings on the App Store. Hit top 10 with that in 8 days of releasing my very first app. This is by far the best investment I ever made. It just works. So yeah, he reached top 10 in just 8 days. He made over $1,000 in just a week. So that's super cool. Obviously, that doesn't happen for everybody, but super happy for Steven. He's on to his second app is in the store, doing even better. So this guy, I can't take credit for it. He's definitely running with it. But shout out to Steven, shout out to Steer, shout out to everybody who's in the app breakthrough, just making things happen. So again, what you're going to get in the program today, because usually people hear like the last thing, they're like, oh, cool, I get marketing and monetization and forget about everything. So that's why I have to go through it. So you get fundamentals and success planning, which is a $197 value. You get market research domination, $497 value. You get wireframes, design, communication, $297 value. One of my favorite parts, hiring and team management, $997 value. And of course, marketing and monetization, which is super cool, super necessary. You need it if you're going to be in this stuff, $497 value. But I didn't want to stop there, so kind of want to stack some more things on there to just really make sure. I thought about just all the how can I make you guys successful. So bonus number one is the live workshops and Q&A. So we're going to start these up in about a month again. We're going to restart them in about a month. And this is just my chance to get on live and teach you cool stuff that I'm doing, both going over the material in the course, which actually in the process of upgrading, but we're going to go over the material in the course. We're also going to cover new things that I'm doing. And it's just a really good opportunity. So this happens at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. This is a $1,997 value, $2,000 value. Want to, of course, give another bonus, and that is the private Facebook group. This is awesome. C-Ray's in there. Steven's in there. Everybody who's having success is in there. There's some people who've been in this business. Some of my friends who've been in this business for a long time who are in this group and just willing to share some of their experience. So it's really like a community and like a family. I think it's just a lot better than having a training that sits there alone and then you can't ask anybody anything. So, while you don't always get an answer within 5 minutes, typically, at least within a day, you're going to have responses from myself, from other people, and I really enjoy the group. It's one of my favorite parts of this entire thing. So again, what you're going to get, fundamentals and success planning, market research domination, wireframes, design, communication, hiring and team management, marketing monetization. Then we're throwing in the live workshops and Q&A, and we're throwing in the private Facebook group, and that brings our total value to $5,479. And so, guys, not everybody. I do think it's worth it, but I'm not going to charge you that today. I do think it would be worth it, but so if all this did was, and I'm showing you why it is actually worth that amount, even though I'm not going to charge that today. But if all this did was finally give you a profitable app business, would it be worth it? And like a profitable business, I've definitely, I'm not gonna put all my numbers out there, but I've definitely made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this thing. And clearly everybody's not gonna do that right away. You're not going to jump in that breakthrough and then by next week you're doing those numbers, but it's definitely achievable if you stick with it over time. You put this stuff into practice. So if all this did was finally give you the kick in the butt to finally get you moving, would it be worth it? And if all it did was get you 2 or 3 profitable apps per year, would it be worth it? So, like, let me know what you guys think. And just put this in context. What is one profitable app worth to you? Is it worth $5,000? Is it worth $10,000? $25,000? Is it worth more? So my most profitable apps have done over 6 figures. Again, that's not all of them. I've created over hundreds of apps. I think nearly 200 apps in my time doing this. And, it's not all of them that did numbers like that, but, definitely had a lot of apps that made a respectable profit. So, how much would you pay to get one successful app this year, or 2 apps, or maybe even 3 or 5 apps? And, you can see why other people, my consulting rate, believe it or not, $600 per hour now, and people pay this on Clarity to do phone conversations. I don't really like following that model because it's not scalable. I like it much more when I'm talking to, like on this call, I'm talking to multiple people, able to give value to a lot of people at the same time rather than the one-to-one. But, you can see why people would do that sometimes. Actually, there's a consulting project I'm working on right now. Looking forward to getting it over with. But yeah, if you make $2,500 per month from a mildly successful app, because that's not a runaway hit, that's not even a very successful app. That's an app that's doing all right. It's hey, we'll take it, right? Would it make sense to pay me just $2,500 one time to set this up for you? So every additional month past number one would be pure profit, and every additional app past the first app is also pure profit. So you can probably see why that's a good deal at $2,500, but that is not what I am charging today. So the price that I actually want to roll this out at is $997. But this thing is still, I'm still kind of in the early stages, and I'm trying to reach a certain number of students. So because you guys are on the call and you're in early, we're only up to about 100 people in that breakthrough right now. What I'm doing for you today is you can get started today for just $497. And all you have to do is go to dailyspark.co/go. You'll have to enter in some credit card details. I'm using, what's that system? I'm using Stripe and Samcart. So anyway, you don't have to know that. It's super easy. Go to dailyspark.co/go, enter in your details, and boom, you're in. And I'll make sure to get you involved in the bonuses like the Facebook group by either this evening or tomorrow morning. And so just to incentivize it a little bit more, I wanted to throw in another bonus. This one's only going to be for the first 10 people to jump in. And this is just to incentivize fast action, because sometimes people are just on the edge. Should I do this? Should I not? And what this bonus is, it's actually one of those templates that I talked about before. This is the one that I use to create Lab Emoji and Bully Emoji, my bulldog emoji app, and C-Ray used for his pony emoji app, and Steven used for, what was his app? I forget which, but he also made an emoji app using mine, and now he made another one called Kitty Emoji, which is doing very, very well. So if you act quickly, then you will be one of the people to get this. So don't say I didn't ever do anything for you. And again, I spent $2,500 making this. This sells right now. A lot of people have bought this for $500, but when you buy this package today for $497, then you get that thrown in for free if you act fast. So, I think that's pretty cool because that's what it costs, but then you get all this other stuff just kind of thrown in. So again, like we kind of mentioned before, it's all about how you value these things. So if you think you're getting more more value in return than what you're giving, then it kind of makes it a no-brainer. So, yeah. So, guys, we did a lot of information on this call, but information alone is never enough. Like, what works? Like, you need to take action, whether you jump in or not. You got to take action, and it helps to have a system. It helps to have accountability. It helps to have mentorship, and these are some of the things that I'm trying to provide to make sure that you can be successful. And um, like the money part of it is cool. Definitely need money. I got to go out and buy groceries, and I got a wedding coming up, so all that's cool. But like, who cares? But the part that I love is I like seeing people like win with this stuff, and I like seeing people go from like you don't know how to do this stuff at all to all of a sudden you're able to have success. You have a new skill that you can go out and earn money with. You can use this to partner with influencers, or you can just do it on your own and use Facebook ads. And I just think that's cool. So I hope you do too. So now you have two choices at this point. I can't decide what to do for you. It's really up to you. So the first option is you do nothing. You don't take the leap of faith, and which of course is 100% risk free. But the second option is that you pony up a small investment today compared to all the value you get in return, and you give it a shot. If it works, great. If not, then you just ask for your money back, and I will give you your money back, because I don't want your money if you're not winning. Like, I want us to win together, and that's why this has a 30-day money back guarantee. If you sign up today, if you don't like it for any reason, I don't care if it's 29 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes from now. Just let me know, Moyo, this isn't what I thought it was, or like whatever. Just let me know whatever. I don't want this thing. And no questions asked, you get your money back. And you can hit me up, of course, at any of my emails, support@dailyspark.co, mo@dailyspark.co. Just let me know that you weren't satisfied, and you get your money back. Of course, that doesn't really happen. I can think of probably one time it's happened out of hundreds. So usually people are pretty happy, and that's because I just put a lot of effort into making sure that I'm helping you guys to win, because that's what makes it fun. It's fun when we're all winning together. So the real question today is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this thing out? Which, if it does even half of what I claimed today on this workshop, it pays for yourself as soon as you have your first profitable app, as soon as that thing is live. So I like this one. So this is the tale of two people. On the left, any one of these trainings, you're going to get different kinds of people. Some people are more tentative, and is this going to work? Should I do this thing? Other people are just more ready to go, like, let's jump in, let's take action, let's do this, let's make it work. So, I can't tell you who to be, but I have a couple more illustrations just because, we're around NBA time. So I hope you guys think that's funny like I do. So, again, I don't know what else to say. Again, I'm not in the business of convincing people, but I do hope you see the opportunity. And if you do, all you got to do next is go to dailyspark.co/go. Try to be one of the first 10 people. I'm not sure how many we have already, so you can get all the bonuses. And again, what you're going to get, run through this quickly one more time: fundamentals and success planning, $197 value; market research domination, $500 value; wireframes design communication, $300 value; hiring and team management, $1,000 value; marketing and monetization, $497 value. You get the live workshops and Q&A, the private Facebook group, and act fast. You get the emoji source code. All that totals up to about $6,000 in value. So I really tried to pile it on here. I wanted it to be a no-brainer. I kind of wish that this kind of package existed for me when I got started. Whatever, I spent a lot more money, but it paid off for me. And so I hope it pays off for you as well. And just to let you guys know, a lot of people think that I'm doing all this stuff and I've had success in this business because I'm special. I'm not special. I have a system that works. I follow the system. I'm not good at coding. I did code back in the day, but nowadays I haven't coded for 7, 8, 9 years. So that's not it. I don't have a huge budget, or I don't have VCs behind me. I spent 7 years of trial and error, tens of thousands of dollars getting this stuff right to learn these secrets, learn the systems. I'm just going to give them to you for a small investment. So, you can spend countless hours and hours trying to do this the hard way, but like, why? What is the point of that? So, what you're going to get today again: fundamentals in success planning, market research domination, wireframes design and communication, hiring and team management, marketing and monetization, live workshops and Q&A, the private Facebook group, the premium emoji source code, totaling up to $5,976. And as I mentioned, first 10 people are getting the emoji code. So this is almost a $6,000 value. You get it today for $497. So definitely hope some of you guys are going to jump in and join in, and hope you, whether you do or not, I just hope you take action. I hope you got tons of value, but of course, I'd rather you do it on Team App Breakthrough. So at this point, that's what I have for you guys. So let me see if there are any questions. And yes, sorry I didn't answer the questions before, but just had to get through that. So Mike says, "What about Dreamweaver?" Mike, give me some more context on what you mean about that. So I used Dreamweaver back in the day when I was doing web design, and that was a tool for designing websites, as far as I'm aware of. But with relation to apps, that's not something I use, and I don't do anything on the coding side. As I mentioned, I just hire. So that's not a tool I use. And so Jide says, "Will the source code work for all kinds of emojis?" So it's not. When I say emoji app, it's not the literal. There's like the emoji keyboard that comes embedded in your iPhone. What this does is it creates a second keyboard, and it posts images, right? Because they don't allow you to create new actual emojis. So like what everybody's doing, if you look at Steph Curry's app and Kimoji, all those apps allow you to use a keyboard that will post images. Like when you bring up the Kimoji keyboard, you can see all these different Kim K emojis. You tap on them and then you can share them with friends. So that's the same exact way that our template works as well. So, but yeah, you can create any kind of like niche or any kind of theme, if that's what you mean. So Bobby says, "How do you know if your idea is app worthy?" Bobby, what I like to do, a good way is just to look at the market, to look at look at what's out there, look at what's making money. You can look at, great thing about Apple, the App Store, is they have these top charts. So you can look at the top paid apps, the top free apps, the top grossing apps, and you can see which apps are actually doing well. So that's one way. Then I also like to look at stuff like Google Trends, and just, I'll type in keywords for whatever I'm thinking about and see if that's a growing trend, because some trends are already represented, or some ideas are already represented on the App Store, and you can get good data that way. So it's always a good sign if there's something that's similar, but you have some twists or improvements. That's a good sign. Or if you're doing something that is just popular for a lot of people, like there are a lot of different kinds of productivity apps that make a lot of sense. But basically, you just want to see some evidence that there is demand for what you want to create. That's the biggest thing for me. So whether that demand is already on the App Store or it's off of the App Store, and you're going to use Facebook ads to bring your people to the App Store. Jide says, "Will the source code work for all kinds of emojis?" I think we talked about that, but let me know if you need more information on that. Just clarify the question. So Mike says, "I've got an app in process and I'm being shown basic coding, so I want to know your thoughts." Mike, that's totally cool. I mean, that's not the way that I go about things. Like, I don't code anything anymore just because I think it's faster. But you definitely can learn how to code, and there's nothing wrong with that. Bobby, you're welcome. Mike, what if your app idea is original? How can you gauge if it'll be successful? So Mike, you're still going to want to look, even if it's original, like what are you basing it on? You want to look for some evidence that of demand of people, either you're fulfilling a need for people by solving a problem that they have. So that's one way of knowing, or, there's some kind of hobby that they do a lot and it fits right into that hobby. So for example, I know that there are people that do boxing out there, and maybe, I have an app for boxing workouts, and there are no boxing workout apps on the store yet, but I know for a fact that this is something that would make people's experience better and something they would use. That'd be an example of a good idea. What a lot of people, like original ideas can be really cool, because the thing is that, if you get it right and you nail it, then it can be huge, right? The thing is that most of the time, what happens, like if you're doing something that's just nobody has ever thought about before, it's unprecedented, it's a lot more risky. So you can also strike out a lot more, right? And that doesn't mean don't try anything original, but what I would recommend is just try to base it on something that's successful, and then figure out ways to like combine different things together, like combine two things that are successful, or improve on something that's successful, but if it's completely original, you just need to figure out like who are going to be the people that are going to use this thing and why. Don't be very honest with yourself about that, otherwise you may have a hard time. All right, cool, Mike, cool. I'm glad to hear. Yeah, fitness is a great category if you can figure out just how to solve a problem for people. So like, for example, an app that does really well, a bunch of people have made HIIT timers for HIIT cardio, HIIT, and those do pretty well. Can you make an emoji for a sports celebrity without getting permission for the celebrity? So G-Day, I would not do that. I would not recommend that at all, because if it does well at all, then they're probably, well, first of all, you have to get it approved by Apple. And most times they're going to ask you like, hey, do you have permission? And they're going to ask you to prove it. But even if that doesn't happen and you get it through, eventually, if that thing is doing all right, they're going to approach you. You're going to get a letter from their legal team, and they're going to make you take it down. And if you don't take it down, then they're going to come after you some more. So when I first started in this game, I would try a lot of, I guess, clever things where I try to ride on waves and sometimes put celebrity images into my games. I wrote on this theme for Gangnam Style. I don't know if you guys remember that music video Gangnam Style. So I made some games that kind of borrowed from that theme. Did quite well, but eventually I got approached and I had to take those things down. And so it's really just not a sustainable strategy and not one I can recommend. The better thing to do is, if you want to do that, just try to reach out to the celebrity and cut a deal. Sometimes it's going to be harder the bigger the celebrity is, but if you're reaching out to, say, a YouTube star or Instagram influencer, that might be more attainable initially. You can build up your portfolio and work your way up. So that's what I would try to do if I wanted to do an app with a celebrity. I wouldn't just take it upon myself to kind of like use their image without permission. It's not going to end well. So Michael says, what is the approximate time investment? So it depends on what kind of app you're talking about. If you're talking about something like an emoji app, that's relatively small time investment, just because all you're doing is you're getting some designs created for whatever theme you've chosen out. You can do some research in Facebook Audience Insights to find out more about your target customer, and you create those designs. Then you're handing them off to a developer. not going to take them long to change things around. You're telling them what you want the user interface to look up like. You can, draw some pictures for them or give them some examples on what to model it off of, and that's about it. Now, if you're doing a more innovative app, like we talked about before, it's going to take you more of a time investment to like draw out those wireframes, to come up with your concept, to do your market research to make sure it's a good idea. So it really all depends. But like if you're doing one of these simple emoji apps, you can literally get it done in a couple of weeks or a month. Just spending a couple hours a day on it. If you're doing something more complicated, it's obviously going to take you more time. Maybe it'll take you 2 months to do your first app, or maybe even 3 months. I recommend when you're first starting out, just try to make it as quick, clean, and simple as possible. Get those results back, iterate, go through the process a few times, become an expert on this stuff. And then what's great is that you'll be able to just go about it with so much more confidence. And yeah. So hope that makes sense. And oh yeah, guys, another thing I just wanted to throw out there. Another reason I think now is the time to kind of jump in is that the price of this thing is going to be $9.97, and I really hate for people to come back and say, "Hey, can I get in for $4.97?" And that's not there anymore. Because once I hit a certain number, I have a number in my head. I just want to fill up the group, which is why it's priced so low, and also because I'm working on improving some of the training. So I want to get that done before I increase the price. But when that price goes up, like if you've already gotten in at $4.97, you don't have to pay again. You're just getting all that extra stuff for free. So just wanted to throw that out. All right, guys. So I don't see any more questions, but I'm definitely willing to hang around as long as you guys have questions. So let me know. All right, cool. Getting some cool emails here. Let's see what's in my email right now. So yeah, I'm seeing yes, interested in info. Okay, cool. For some reason, I'm getting some of the questions by email. Webinar Jam can be funny sometimes. Yes. So I'm getting a lot of yeses. I imagine these were from way before. That's cool. All right, guys. Well, definitely want to thank you guys for hanging out. I had a ton of fun hanging out with you guys on this stuff. Bobby said, "Do I have an app making for 2-year-olds?" No, I haven't come out with that one yet. That could be a brand extension. App making for 2-year-olds. But let me know if you have any 2-year-olds that can help me and work with me on that product, because I don't have any to live with me in the house, so I need some consultants. So let me know about that. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out on the workshop tonight. Definitely been fun for me. Hope you guys learned something that you didn't know, and hope you guys can see how you can go about creating a successful app and a successful app business. And hope you guys believe now that you don't need to know how to code, because you just don't. You just don't. Do I want you to join the program? Of course I do. But even if you don't, just follow these steps. And like, I want you to take action. I want you to, go ahead, get a template. Doesn't have to be my template. But get a template, get a developer, get an app up there, start buying some cheap Facebook ads, spend $10 a day or $20 a day, like start making some ROI, start pumping it up, double the budget. Make sure you pick a good quality niche where there are going to be some definite buyers and definite people who are interested. Do that research up front. And then, just let me know how it goes, because I get pumped up when I see people actually, like, don't be the people that just hear about this stuff and don't do anything. Like, you gotta, if you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. So you gotta go ahead and do something with it. Trust me, it's not going to be, you're not going to be a huge success by tomorrow, but if you stick with it for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, a year, then your chances, like, you can't lose. You can't lose if you stick with it like that. So, okay, guys. So once again, thank you so much. I don't see any more questions coming through. So we're going to call it a day here. And I will see you guys. I don't know. Maybe I'll see you on email. I'll see you on Facebook. But thank you guys so much for attending, and take care.